Baes, which is absolutely stellar wordplay. I am a huge fan of this already.
And what map are we going to? None other than the good, solid, Cursed Hollow, my friend.
An absolutely amazing first map to ever go into. On a best of 3, it's one of the most balanced maps that kind of give both the teams a very good favor in terms of going back and forth. And the map mechanic creates a really nice set of team fights as well.
Absolutely. It's one of the most stable maps that we've ever seen. This battleground is just, it's widely regarded as the most balanced. So you got to put your best foot forward here. Everything is in this round is best of 3. So you're not quite fighting for tournament life yet, but we do see already a few bans, and a very popular one, at least here in the NA meta, Lost Vikings are out.
Yeah, and Lost Vikings are so scary on this map. Anytime you go for a tribute, oh my god, all of a sudden there's Vikings in all the lanes soaking up. So if you delay a little bit on trying to get that tribute from the enemy team, well, the enemy team's going to be getting a good amount of levels on you. So it's a great first ban.
All right, so they're going to respond with an Uther, not a Malfurion. My bad on that one, guys. But the first pick coming out of Odom is actually going to be Jaina. Very popular in our, at least in North America, as a first pick. She brings absolutely great back end DPS. She does ridiculous amounts of burst. You can roam with her. She just is overall a fantastic character right now.
She's really good at pushing as well. Since the trait has been added to now buildings as well, you just get that ridiculous bonus damage. Great pickup.
Crits and crits and crits. Yeah, man. Brightwing is going to lead us for the Blackheart Baes on Cursed Hollow. Not exactly something you see as a first pick material a lot of the times, but at the same time, we do get Kael'thas now into that as well. So mage for mage, you're not going to see the fire and ice combo together today.
Which is a good thing, because that combo is absolutely terrifying. Brightwing, though, it's a great pickup, especially if they go for something like Promote on this map. Promoted minions, or even worse, promoted catapults, can be an absolute terror later on in the game.
Yeah, the bribes and the promotes, and just, I mean, you can actually play her every single level of talents gives you an activatable. It's really kind of fun. But
click
it's
all
just
the things.
Click all the things, yeah, man. Click all the things. Mirrodin, the big dwarf brother himself, is going to be up here, and he's actually going to get paired up with, again, another of our lovely ladies of the storm, Sylvanas. Big siege damage coming out of her.
Oh yeah, this team already is very heavy in that siege damage, and picking up that Mirrodin gives you that little bit of mobile in terms of team fights as well. Sylvanas, really nice in terms of those team fights as well. So now you've got the pairing of the Jaina, it's burst, and Sylvanas for that sustained damage.
So Blackheart Baes now have their ban, and their second ban, I kind of alluded to it a bit earlier, my apologies. It will be the Malfurion. That is not a ban you see a lot of here in the North American meta, but Uther out, Malfurion out, and the Brightwing first pick. Blackheart Baes are trying to force exactly who is going to be healing here for Odom.
Yeah, they're doing quite the opposite of supporting their enemies. In fact, they're taking away all the support. So that puts their enemies in a really weird spot, because now they only have a couple of different supports that are available. Rhaegar's still a really good pick that could possibly come out here, but maybe you go something crazier like a Lily or something else.
Well, there's not going to be an Illidan joining us, as that's going to be the return ban, and those are the 4 now on the table. And as you said, I mean, a Rhaegar or a Lily, it's going to come down to one of those. Your first instincts are usually the correct ones, and it is going to be that Rhaegar going forward here for the Black. Nope, that's totally
Odom.
That's the Odom pick. The Blackheart, sorry, they picked a Nubarak.
Yeah, they're going to answer with that Anubarak, and that's a good pickup there, because if they allowed the other team to pick up that Anubarak, oh man, how many Blood for Bloods that would have been? That's very scary, because that would have been Sylvanas, Rhaegar, and Anubarak with all those Blood for Bloods. So it's a good, I think, counter pick, as well as just an overall solid pick for the Blackheart Baes.
Apparently now the team name is Odom. That's what the teams are telling us. Odom, not Odom. My mistake. The Rhaegar does go to Odom because they are kind of forced out of that. The Tyrande went to the Blackheart Baes. If anything is a Bay, I would definitely put Tyrande to that role to go with that Brightwing. The lovely ladies, as we said a little bit earlier. But also to go to this, Tychus. We're kind of running a bit slim on our DPS pick, so we'll be the Tychus pick to finish off Odom. And a Zeratul to round out the rest of it here. We've been seeing a heck of a lot of Zeratul lately, Shamsi.
He is just so good. They've changed how they play Zeratul, and I say they as in most upper-end, higher echelon players. They use a now like follow through with focus attacks and everything else kind of build, and it's very auto attack heavy. It's so good and so menacing, and you can't throw away the usefulness of that Void Prism.
No, the Void Prison, especially on this map, there's so many curves in and around those jungle areas where those mercenaries are. There's so many big crutch points that Void Prisons can really just turn the tide of battle right there. So with a Brightwing and a Tyrande, it almost feels like they were setting up for the Illidan, but then it got denied. They went with the Tyrande anyways. We're going to see a very heavy auto attack style Zeratul, but with the Void Prison, not the Shadow Assault. And he's just going to be trying to get into that bag. Look for that Jaina, look for the Tychus, look for that Sylvanas. He is going to be in heaven if he gets the support he needs to wreck that back line.
Yeah, but that's where Rhaegar is going to be pretty nice, though. With the chain healing as well as an Ancestral, anytime anybody gets immediately bursted down really quickly, the Rhaegar can possibly save them with that Ancestral and make all those cooldowns that the enemy team just used a little bit wasted.
So we're going to be looking into this, ladies and gentlemen. The teams are ready. They were very patient with our catch-up right there, but these are the teams for Game 1 of our first match of the series this weekend, ladies and gentlemen, the road to BlizzCon, June 2015. I have absolutely no idea who's going to be making all the way to BlizzCon, but I'm really excited to be involved here at the first step, and I know you are too, Shamtu.
Oh man, this is absolute one of my favorite things about getting up to BlizzCon is just rolling with the hype of BlizzCon. And it just makes BlizzCon all that more enticing, that more exciting. So many other cons are just, you know, it shows up, everything's cool, but road to BlizzCon, absolutely. Last year for or all the setups for StarCraft, all the ones for Warcraft, all the ones for Hearthstone even were really exciting. I'm so happy to see that Heroes of the Storm is now following the trend because it's one of the best things about BlizzCon. You watch months and months and months of all these games, and all of a sudden, Jester, you just get to watch all of the fruits of all those teams' efforts just go ham at each other at the tournament at BlizzCon.
And I mean, this is going to be one of our big first international events. I mean, I think that the WCA out there as well is touting that kind of big draw. But BlizzCon itself, I mean, we got NA, we got EU, we got Asia. We have every region under the sun rip-roaring and ready to go. I've already seen the Copa America meta being played through. Singapore had some of their qualifiers up last night. Now it's the North American turn, and it's super excited with 90 teams signed up. It's going to be a good time.
Ooh, it's going to be a great, great time. And so this is the round of 128. I think this is one of the first times, except for maybe the Heroes of the Dorm set, where there's been so many players in NA actively playing. So super excited for this tournament, and we got the game already starting.
Oh, great. I clicked a cannon tower, and I can't do anything about it. Oh, rip me. Either way, left-hand side, ladies and gentlemen, the team name that I actually had to get corrected on because it is Odom. Odom. That is Team Blue here on the left. 0 degrees up into the top with the Tychus. Harkaj? Yeah, let's go with Harkaj in the mid on the Rhaegar. Blitzen and Dunk Stick. No Dunk Train, the Dunk Stick today with Perez. Going to be representing your blue team.
Over here on the right-hand side is the Blackheart Baes. Not playing on Blackheart's Bay, we're on Curse Hollow, so don't get too confused. Sheree on the Brightwing. We've got Irvin on the Zeratul. The next slash on Kel'Thuzad. Wow, Kel'Thuzad. I do that. Great, I've joined Jake in the ranks of people who do that.
Who do they pair me with?
Got Impact with Tyrande and Changer on an Uberak.
Impact and Changer. I really was looking for these guys to be doing some roaming around. That's a really nice early game roam comp right there. But it does look like it will be an Uberak to hold down the fort up against this Tychus. But of course, you know, he throws out that stun. Tychus is going to respond with that overkill, and they will have a little bit more of a duel. We're likely to be now looking at bottom lane because of the tri-lane that has been set up from both sides. Kel'Thuzad, good. Wave clear, not Kel'Thuzad.
You almost said Kel'Thuzad. Yep. Don't try and play that.
Kel'Thuzad. We'd say it with me, sir. So, you know, big wave clear, but I mean, up against the Jaina, up against that Sylvanas, they're going to have a heck of a time. But it's already big damage going down. Not quite the first blood yet. Dunk Stick, one more auto tech. Irvin can actually land it there with Sheree. And already first blood on our road to BlizzCon. Bit of a spatter on the brick there, Shamtu.
Yeah, and that's going to be a nice little setup because they need to start eliminating that Sylvanas. They had to respond to that tri-lane because Sylvanas is just going to be able to push that down so easily, even with even paired teams going up against each other. Looks like they're going for a little bit of aggression on the mid lane. Our coach going to have to back up here. That Rhaegar is really, really beefy, really tanky, and has great escape once he gets into his wolf form, but it's gonna be hard.
Yeah, the increased movement speed will make it a little tricky here for Impact to start landing that Lunar Blaze for the stun to set up for Irvin. I would have expected to see Zeratul to actually come up top because we have a really nice setup with the Anubarak. He throws at the Impale, you can blink in, stun, he might run and gun away, but then you can just burrow charge and keep him there. Body blocks. I mean, Tychus is not the most built of DPS into this game, but it's just not to be. We actually have the change. It's going to be Zeratul now mid, and there will be no roaming at all.
Yeah, and you know what? That's okay. They don't have to start roaming just yet. They know that later on in those team fights, when they start chaining all of their crowd control together, that's going to be that Tyrande Lunar Flare, the Brightwing Polymorph, the spikes coming in there from the Nubarak. It's going to be an absolutely destructive chaining together. And they don't have a cleanse on the opponent's side, which is going to remove those crowd controls, so that's really scary. Changer's going to pick up the tribute, and it looks like Bottom's going to reply by just taking out towers.
Yeah, there was no rotation here. If you guys are not familiar with this battleground, Cursed Hall is all about those tributes because you curse your opponent's side. And usually you see more emphasis on them, at least especially earlier on in some of these tournaments. But there was no response whatsoever because, again, the power of that Sylvanas, as you see, the gate's already down. They're starting to work on this fort. This charade, I mean, Brightwing has nothing to do against this. That is not a response. And now you can already see, here comes Kael'thas, here comes the Tyrande as well, and it does look like Odom actually is aware of that.
Yeah, and they're going to have to back up here. The Lunar Flare not quite connecting, so they're going to be able to ward them away for the time being. Meanwhile, another tribute coming up, and already we have the Blackheart Baes in a little bit of an advantage here.
Yeah, because they were already swarming into the bottom lane, you just see Changer now. He's into the mid, just trying to cover. They are going to be putting full force into this, especially catching out the dunk stick right there. Great Lunar Blaze, and the silence there. It will be the end of Sylvanas, and it looks like Irvin, well, perhaps maybe not going to get out of that one. The overkill is too good, and now 0 degrees in a great spot to pick up that Kael'thas. He's going to drop 3-for-1 exchange. It was great position for the Baes, and there goes the Nubarak as well, but it was not a trade that Odom was willing to give up. 4-for-1 exchange, my friend.
Yeah, they're doing super, super well right now because they also picked up their level 7 talents, and they are going to be able to push down so much better. Sylvanas picking up that unstable poison. That means anytime a creep or enemy dies with that affliction of the black arrows, they're going to explode, and that just helps push down those lanes super, super, super quick. And
it's a big map. You leave Sylvanas to her own devices for even just a moment. There goes the creep wave. There goes those mercs you worked so hard to get pushing into that lane. There goes that fort that was hanging by a thread. She just gets in and out and does all the damage. Look at this bottom lane. There's no mule here from the Blackheart Baes. This is permanent damage, and this fort already is on its last legs.
Well, speaking of the fort, it's happening at a really good place. That bottom lane, there's another tribute coming on up here, Jester. Who's going to be able to take this one is going to be the scary question.
Well, Tychus is already still up top. Ervin is actually going to get discovered. So even, you know, we don't have the numbers here from the Baes. 2, 3, 4 of them are actually missing out, and it's going to go uncontested this time to Odom. That puts us at 2 out of 3. One more tribute, and which will likely be coming up at about level 10. Is going to seal the deal here for the first curse.
Yeah, and that's going to be a pretty big tribute because not only that, but we're going to also have level 10 coming out here for Odom. And if they can pick that up, if they get that huge advantage, they're going to be in a really, really fancy spot. So we really need to see Blackheart Baes kind of running around, maybe getting a takedown or two to really get some experience back in their hands.
Now we are responding a little bit here into the mid. Sheree is going to be the big target. Heals and the gust of healing there. Level 7, going to be saving the Brightwing bacon here today. Already you can see more and more siege damage going down. Bottom is continually pushing in. We just lost out that tower. It's not enough to make up the experience difference, and we are about to get those heroics here from Odom.
Yeah, and that's going to be really scary, but they might be able to take advantage of this numbers battle right now. Impact taking a lot of damage. Changer now going straight on in here. Perez trying to do as much damage as possible and be the front line, and that is going to be the first takedown for this fight, but they are absolutely wrecking this already. They're up to 6 takedowns in this engagement, or sorry, in this map. They're doing really, really well.
Yeah, the Water Elemental did clean up the Tyrande, and it chased down the Kael'thas there as well. You see the curse, and now it's going to be the big collapse on top of Irvin. Unfortunately, we still have all that big wall right there and those towers, so he will live to fight another day. Zeratul always seeming to do that based upon my campaign experience with him. But a level 11 to 9, this is a very bad spot for the Blackheart Baes. They're not looking nearly as good
as their name is. Their name is absolutely stellar. However, they're in a little bit of a corner right now from Odom, and Odom is definitely putting on a good amount of hurt. They're going to be able to take out that top fort. The bottom fort went down as well. Sheree is trying to hold off this mid lane, but if the Blackheart Baes transfer over here really quick, that Sylvanas can lock out that tower even if the curse is up. And the curse has still got another 20 seconds before that's even going to be done.
Yeah, but they're going to be going straight for this boss kill because, again, 20 seconds, that's a lot of time left on that curse, and it almost guarantees that there's to be no aggression here from the Baes. Even if they have an idea that this is going down, they have to defend, otherwise they'll continually lose out more and more siege damage that they cannot repair. So, it's a really good strategy here from Odom. They get themselves some infrastructure damage. They took out the bottom lane because of earlier efforts to check out the top, and they secure themselves a boss, which is going to go straight to this gate on the keep.
Yeah, and that's going to be a really scary thing. Good thing working out here for Blackheart Baes, though. They do have these siege giants, and they'll just start turning around, wailing away on that grave golem. Unfortunately, it's still going to be able to get a good amount of work done here and tie up some resources of the Blackheart Baes. So that means that Odom is going to have free reign over possibly another Grave Golem, or even just be a little bit less aggressive and go for those bruiser camps.
Well, it's not exactly the biggest defenses I've ever seen here into the bottom, but it is a split team here from the Baes. They are going to lose out probably a tower bottom. They're going to lose out this fort mid. If they lose out a kill as well, it's just a cherry on top to their team comp because they are about to hit level 13, and that's another talent unlocked.
You're speaking of cherries on top. I mean, if we see Odom keep playing like this, they're definitely going to be going to Sunday.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Championship Sunday. Yeah, everything this weekend is all the way up to the best of the round of 8. So you got to be putting forward those best games so you can get there next weekend. And that means, of course, you have to get to the Sunday as well. Zeratul blown up. No chance. The Void Prison was all right, but at the same time, the steal is not complete. Those bruisers will go the way to Odom, and we're just back to defense. We don't have the numbers. We don't have the levels. But more importantly, they're not going to have this boss up here either. It is looking dire for the Baes.
Yeah, they do have the ability to turn this around, but they're going to have to play this a little bit more carefully. They can't be throwing heroes into the middle of the enemy team like that so readily, because Odom will be able to take those very quickly. Look at their team. They've got Tyrande. That Hunter's Mark is going to... Sorry, they have Jaina. Sorry, the other Tyrande's got the other team. Jaina is going to be able to just lay down that hurt very quickly. She is that burst hero that we were talking about in the draft. She's going to be able to just wreck something very quickly. So you have to be very careful about who you put forward in those fights.
So 13 to 12, let's take a quick look at some of these talents. Honestly, I mean, everything here looks pretty much on point. Level 7 for the Mirrodin is battle momentum. We don't typically see momentum come out a lot here from the Dwarf, but at the same time, he has Reverberation, he has the Thunderburn, and now with the Thunderstrike as well, he might be looking to duel out and catch, you know, the Anubarak, the Zeratul when they blink forward. If he catches a Squishy, 300% damage plus that battle momentum means it's just going to be continuously raining Thunderclaps.
Yes, and that's the great thing about that the Battle Momentum Thunderclap build, is just being able to just wail away on your opponents and constantly get more and more procs of that Thunderstrike. 300% damage, it's a really slow and low damage ability, but oh man, when you get more and more of them out there, it becomes very scary. And also, don't forget the fact that it slows you down as well.
Now, we do got the level 13s here from the Blackheart Baes, and Ice Block coming out from our Brightwing. Feeling a little bit of pressure, needs to try to negate some of this burst. We do got the Burning Rage for our new Barak. You're likely to see with this Beetle build at level 16 the Blood for Blood. And this is, you know, a really nice setup here for Changer. Not only does he have the sustain with the Locust Swarm, but with his Beetles as well, with the Leeching Scarabs. Now he has even more damage with the Burning Rage, and he'll have a good burst potential with that Blood for Blood if they get to 16.
You know, you're talking about burst damage and Blood for Blood, but there's also that Kale that's sitting on the other side. As soon as he gets Ignite to go with his Flamethrower, he is going to be able to start laying down some serious damage. Now, he didn't go for Gathering Power, but that's okay. He's going to have that Netherwind, which is going to help that Gravity Well kind of shoot out and really, or Gravity Lap, sorry, do some really nice work in terms of crowd control and keep him alive for a little bit longer. Oh. And that's good, because he's actually been taking a lot of losses. But let's take a look at this tribute, because this is going to be...
Look at this
is going to be the fight.
This zoning laser, unfortunately, is just not going to get any value out of it because they just skirt right around it. That's going to be a big pickup there on top of Dunkstick, but there's no follow-up. Changer will go into that backline. He has the Locust, but no heals at all. He is going to drop very quickly. Dunkstick is actually still ticking. Perez about half health. Here comes the heals from Harkaj as well. They are actually going to throw the Ancestral on top of the Jaina. They want to make sure that this DPS stays up and alive. And Perez, he just jumps in. He's going to be a big target, but he's not going to drop. It will be Impact. Instead, Ervin has to blink out of this one, and Slash is going to get chased down once more by this Water Elemental.
Yeah, that's going to be already 2 takedowns to 0. That's going to be 3 takedowns. Oh my god, they are doing so well. in this first game. I can't believe that they're able to pretty much walk through those types of team fights like that. They even had a little bit of a splitting. Their Sylvanas was coming in from the bottom, and that's a really precarious situation, but they were able to make that work very well, especially with some really sick landing of Wailing Arrows.
Now you can see Dunkstick into this bottom lane. The rest of his team, they got the tribute. They're doing these giants, and that's going to help this push, but Dunkstick has already been working away on these towers. They're not going to be firing back. They're not going to be an issue here for these Stone Bros as they start throwing those stones. But level 16 now has actually been acquired for the Odom. And, I mean, Blood for Blood's Earthgrasp Totem means that already it's an immobile team. It's not going to be getting away any faster at this point. And Northern Exposure is not the root, but it is the vulnerability. So if vulnerability there for the Jaina just means scary damage coming our way, Shamtu.
You know, we already saw that they were able to do some ridiculous burst damage, but Jester, they're going to start doing some even scarier burst damage with that Northern Exposure. That's going to make somebody drop really, really quickly. And if that goes the way of somebody like a Zeratul or a Kael'thas, that's going to be a really hard battle for them to come back in because they don't have too much damage other than that.
I'm not sure that there's anything we can really do here from the Baes. I mean, they're 15 to 16. That's a very excruciating time to try to pick a fight because you do not have that equal talent here. And they have to give up this curse. It's back to defense at this point for the Baes, and you can already see one boss is going to go the way here of Odom. They're very likely to rotate, get another, but during this curse, that boss is going to go straight to this bottom keep, and it's going to start laying the smackdown on it.
Yeah, and that's going to be the really scary spot here because that next boss, guess what? That's up in 20 seconds. There's no way that they can melt that boss down in the next 20 seconds and still put on a very good defense for the other boss pit. But that doesn't mean to say it's impossible. There's 30 seconds left of Curse, though, so if they decide, this is where it becomes a really crucial... Ooh, actually, never mind. Irvin gonna get picked up here as he was transferring up to the top lane. Very, very nice pickup here. That means they're gonna have a huge map advantage. But this boss, oh, man. There's only gonna be another one, guys. There's only gonna be another one.
Yeah, Sharu into the bottom lane is the only defense, but nothing is firing back, and this Golem is going to get some work done. And with that kill on top of the Zeratul, I mean, they do got level 16. We're finally on that even talent tier point, but you're down now a Void Prison, you're down an entire body, and you're just not going to be able to contest this. So as you said, another boss coming down. We rush to the defense on bottom, but will that actually be enough? Are they too little, too late? 1, 2, well, maybe this will be enough, and it is. Just before the boss goes down, the keep is going to drop with it, and now it's the same old stick and routine up top because here comes another one.
Did you just make a stick and routine joke because of Dunk Stick?
Sure, let's go with that.
Oh man, I was hoping that was a pun.
Nope, just good.
You're not throwing any changes out on this one. Okay, so we do have, you know, they have to mount their defense here. They have to hold everything off here. Impact taking a little bit of damage, gonna get stunned out here by Perez. There's the Wailing Arrow, and actually it's gonna be a Nubarak who's gonna be the first one to fall, which was a little bit unexpected. But Impact taking so many different support spells to keep him up and alive. Unfortunately, however, they're gonna lose the keep. The Grave Golem now pushing in. FourCourt, I don't know if they can hold this off.
Yeah, this is looking pretty dire already with a boss on top of that. Jaina, well, will actually drop in the thick of the battle, but permanent core damage is now coming down, but it is not quite GG yet, Sham2. It's going to rest about, what, 75 and 76% damage. 2 keeps are down, and that means 2 lanes of catapults are always going to be now a thorn in the side of the Baes, but they do have... Well, they don't actually have the man advantage. They did get a kill on Jaina, so they got to feel good about that, but they actually don't have the 5v4 power play ready to go, so there's really not much else they can do except defend for now.
Yeah, well, the only thing that's going for them right now is they can possibly get an engagement before level 20. They have everybody up, Jaina's down. They get a 5v4 engagement before that level 20 hits, they could possibly start turning this whole entire game around. They've got a lot of forts and everything else to chew through, but that doesn't mean that they're in a completely out of this game situation. We've seen from games such as Na'Vi versus Team Liquid, doesn't matter if you get any kills during the game, as long as the last couple of seconds go in your favor, you can change this around. Unfortunately, they don't have Sylvanas, but they don't have to deal with promoted catapults because there's no promote on the enemy team.
Yeah, that is something we kind of just glossed over. We do see a lot of promotes, especially in the high-end brackets of a lot of tournaments these days, but absolutely nothing here on those level 4s. But still, 16, it's actually 18, 19. We're so close to the 20s, and Kael'thas is just actually going to be the edge to pump them right on over that. Irvin with the VP into the back, but it's just not going to be enough to take down Oblitzen. You know, Comet and Cupid will blitzen and everything else, but 0 degrees. We'll take that tribute, and this could very likely be the game right here, Shampoo.
Yeah, it's looking like this is going to be pretty rough for them to hold off. 4 members of the enemy team have been taken down here. The keep now, the final keep, is going to fall. Dunkstick being able to just mitigate all of that damage coming out from that keep as well is going to just keep them even healthier as a pair of bruisers join them. So I don't think there's that much else that can really defend here. We've got Brightwing pushing in the bot lane. She's got this. No worries, guys. Core gonna fall. Game 1 gonna go over to Odom.
Odom not living up to their silly, dumb name, but oh man, did they ever actually play very well. Level 20 by the end of it, 17 kills to 3, commanding lead. They gave up the first tribute, and that was the only tribute that we were able to put up to the Blackheart Baes name. But still, overall, fantastic stuff from them.
Hey, you know what? Regardless of how Blackheart Baes do throughout this best of 3, they win in my heart from that type of word on their name. However, first game
too strong, man.
Name too strong. That's all you really need. Like, look at all the top players in StarCraft. They have like those single word names. It's the next age of pro gamer names is going to be puns. I'm calling it, and I'm going to be way ahead of everybody. So, looks like the first game's going to go over to Odom. They played really well.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, this isn't the end for the Blackheart Baes. They will have another map to prove themselves here worthy for treading upon the road to BlizzCon NA, because come November, it's going to be the best of the best. We have 3 qualifiers, and everybody in the top 32 today goes home with prizes. Might not be something you can eat, but at the same time, a lot of the time, Blizz Heroes is very nutritious. It serves the soul, if not the stomach.
You definitely get a healthy diet of salt sometimes. You play with the right teams.
I will give you that one, sir. I will give you that one. So we're going to take a quick break, set up for our next match. Shouldn't be too long. We do got a lot of time before our next round as well. So Odom and Blackheart Baes, ladies and gentlemen, who will come out ahead? Well, we're going to have to see if we actually will go to the Bay, and the Baes will have that advantage. Otherwise, who knows? The draft could be anybody's game, Sham.
Quite true, quite true. So let's jump to that quick commercial break, and we'll be right back, guys.